it's time to jump into the drama. We're jumping into drama now. The context is, this is Valkyrae. She is a popular streamer, one of the biggest female streamers on Twitch. She put out a product that is a skin cream that you put on that touts its ability to protect you from the blue light of your monitors. It is branded as Reflect without any vowels in it to stay hipstery. And that is the entire conceit of the product. Blue light should ring alarms in your head. That should always make you double check what situation you're in and what context the blue light is being used in, because it's often used as a marketing ploy to get you to spend more money on shit that you really don't need. She promotes this product. She has an entire like video collage of different skin color toned people putting it on and the reflections, because it's meant to reflect the blue light so you don't hurt your skin. And one thing that XQC said in response to this that I found insightful and good is he said, I don't think that people should be DMing you about the bullshit or problems with a product that you're promoting, because it's like they're DMing you telling you how to do your job. That's your job. Your job when you promote something is to know that stuff.
If I take a sponsor for a game and this game's kind of weird, nobody's gonna DM me and be like, yo dude, this game has a fucking crypto miner. Dude, this game, I think, look at the frame rate. I think there's something going on in the background. No, nobody's gonna do that. I don't think anybody, and I don't blame them for not doing it either, because it's my fucking job. I signed the papers. I signed the contract. I did it on my own. It's my battle. I'm solo. I don't assume that the whole squad is on my, and now we're fighting together. It's just kind of not how it works when it comes to shit like this.
An interesting opinion from XQC, and I think it hits on something important, which is the responsibility to know about the product that you're promoting on your stream is yours alone. The only sponsor opportunity that I've taken on this stream was for the clothes that sometimes you see me wearing. I made sure that I got all the clothes beforehand. I put them through several cycles in the washer, and then I beat the shit out of them, and then I put them in the dryer at super high heat because I wanted to see if these clothes would last several wash cycles before I would tell you guys to buy them. So you have to do like your own research on the products and the things that you're going to promote on your stream, and that's what X is getting at. And I think that that responsibility angle is one that I'm interested in looking at while we listen to her talk. I don't want to see her offload responsibility onto the research staff that she had. I don't want to see her offload responsibility onto the brand or other people. I want to see her take some responsibility for failing to check the research or failing to check the legitimacy of the product that she was going to have this big promotional campaign for. So that's what I'm kind of looking for here. What factors should she be responsible for then? Well, we'll see, because she's also going to outline what her involvement was here, right? So we could say that she was being irresponsible if she said, this was thrown on my lap. I was told there were a bunch of researchers on it by one person. They told me how much money I would get, and I said, fuck it, dude. And I signed off on it, and I okayed the tweets, and that was the extent of my involvement. Then she's just an irresponsible dickhead, right? Because she just accepted this entire deal without doing any due diligence, and she put all of her faith on one single point of contact. Then we could criticize her for that, right? Now, however, if she worked deeply with those research people, if this was a project that she really spent months working on, if this was something she was deeply involved in, then the criticism is at a different level, right? Then it's like, well, how during this entire process did you not like check this? How during this entire process were you duped all the way to the end? Like, you know, like, I think it's really going to depend on how her involvement was with people behind the scenes, right? I feel like because it was a 2-year project, that makes her involvement more problematic. I do as well. And that's why I'm pointing out this temporal thing is being kind of important. Flippantly just signing off on something is one thing, and it's worthy of criticism, but it's different when you were involved for a long period of time, I think.
It was before I announced my YouTube switch. When I've been on YouTube for over 1.5 years now. It was, yeah, pretty much 2 years ago. Through UTA, which is the talent agency that my agent works for, UTA. Hannah is my agent, as some of you know. She's my agent. UTA. Through UTA, Joanna and Claudia found me, and they had a meeting with me, and they said they really liked my brand. They really liked who, you know, just like who I was and everything. And they asked me, they brought like a bunch of, oh, is the mic low? Oh. They brought a bunch of like products and samples and all this stuff. And they asked me during that meeting if there was something that I was interested in. And so I interested to make. And so I said, I was like, well, is there any like research on blue light and how it can affect your skin? Because I don't really know much about it and stuff. And they said that, yeah, we can. Hi, Ms. We can do studies on it and stuff. And so the next 6 months, they ran their own studies. They did their own research with their labs and their chemists.
Okay, problem number 1 has already appeared. Can you guys guess what the problem is? They did their own research. Yes. So beyond that, which is the problem for the company, Ray did something bad here as well. If Ray was interested in whether or not the blue light thing worked, and that company said that it needed to conduct its own internal research for 6 months to prove it, but they were confident that that was the case, they could have provided her other studies which gave them that initial indication that the blue light thing is a problem, right? Because they asserted it was a problem before they even conducted research about that problem. So that is strange, and that should have been problematic from the very beginning, setting aside the bias of the company itself doing research on a claim that it already believes. Secondly, given that they were convinced that that was the case, and given that Ray had 6 months of time in between when she first asked these questions and when she got the research back, she could have looked at independent research on any of this. She could have conducted a basic Google search and been prepared with counterpoints to those scientists. There's a lot that Ray could have done in those 6 months to prove on her own from a non-biased source whether or not the blue light thing was a legitimate concern. So yes, we definitely do have a problem that the company is conducting its own research and she's only taking that. I think that the main issue there, though, is the diversity of what kinds of sources of information you're looking for. It's not a problem for a company to do their own research on something. It should ring some alarm bells and make you question those or double check them. But that's exactly what needs to happen, is you then need to double check that. If a company does its own research and that research is more or less in line with the conclusions of an entire industry or an entire field of science, it's not a problem that that company conducted its own research. It might be helpful for its specific brand of product to see that it's in line with the science that the whole field agrees on, right? So that's not necessarily a problem. The problem is when you only consume data and studies from the company that is personally interested in those data and studies, giving them a particular result. So that's a problem here. No, it was Ray that brought up blue light to the company. Is it? Is that how this happened?
They asked me during that meeting if there was something that I was interested to make. And so I said, I was like, well, is there any like research on blue light and how it can affect your skin? Because I don't really know much about it and stuff. And they said that, yeah.
So she asked them about blue light, not knowing anything. Oh no, this makes it so much worse. So Ray is completely ignorant about things. She goes into a marketing meeting, comes up with a problem that the marketing team could use to push the product, which we saw from the very beginning of this story all the way to the tweets that we saw released. So Ray picked something that she could fearmonger people about, that she was completely uneducated about, had her own personal scientists on the research team for this company prove that it was a problem despite Ray's ignorance about it, and then released the okay. If I were to give a guess to how this meeting actually went, it was probably all couched in marketing terms. What is a marketable angle for pushing this skincare cream shit? And she probably said, well, wouldn't it be cool if it like blocked blue light? I don't know anything about blue light, so we should probably do some research to prove that blue light is a problem. But if we could solve this problem that I don't even know exists, I know it's some buzzwords that will work for this fucking pushing this product. Interesting.
They did their own research with their labs and their chemists. Paulina is one of the lead chemists at Deviation Labs.
The inclusion of names to me is interesting. So she's name dropped her agent person that originally brought this to her. She's name dropped one of the scientists. I'm not exactly sure what the purpose of that is, but that could cause some problems for these individual researchers moving forward with like doing any kind of work and stuff. So I think that's going to have negative ramifications on these people. And I would hate to think that the reason why Ray is name dropping people is to share this burden onto others by name, rather than just mentioning a research team as like a broader collection of people.
I saw the research. I saw it with my own eyeballs, and I was really excited because I thought it was groundbreaking research. I thought it was all wonderful stuff. It was excited. I thought it was really going to help not just like me, but like other people as well. And so after like the first 6 months, all that stuff, I guess I should start by saying I took out 100 Thieves from my title or from my bio and stuff on Twitter and Instagram because they have nothing to do with this. This is not 100 Thieves involved at all, and I didn't want them to like get dragged into this somehow. My original title was creative collaborator for Reflect. I was a creative collaborator. I actually asked if I could if there was something shorter so that it would look prettier in my bio, and they said you could put co-founder if you want.
Oh no. I won't comment on this, but
yeah, that's why it was co-founder, because I thought creative collaborator was too long. But yeah, I was actually the creative collaborator, co-founder, whatever that means. I saw their research. I loved it. I thought it was so sick. I was like, wow, this is incredible. I can't believe like I'm going to be a part of something like this. My involvement with Reflect for the next year and a half was they would send me samples of the products.
So now we're racked up to 2 years of involvement, and we haven't heard that at any point she did any kind of outside research. So if we're talking about due diligence here, Ray is completely in the wrong. Ray did no due diligence on this product, on this problem. She just completely trusted the materials that they gave her. And even then, oh man, okay, this isn't good. She does not understand the difference between peer-reviewed and company-funded research for a product. I don't know if she doesn't know the difference or if it didn't matter to her. I really just don't think it mattered to her. And it only matters now that she's getting in trouble for it being a gimmick. I think that most people, if they introspect for a moment, could realize that maybe a company giving them a bunch of research would necessitate checking it with outside sources or collaborating with somebody else, or corroborating, I should say, with somebody else about that research. And we've so far not heard that she's done any of that.
I tested the smell, the texture, the packaging, the colors of the packaging. For instance, the chapstick or lip balm. I told them I wanted it to be completely unisex. I wanted it to be as natural as possible. I wanted it to not be shiny. So that's why the moisturizer and the chapstick are matte. Like they dry matte.
We're quickly affirming ourselves as a co-founder and not as a creative collaborator. She's not wording this as like, I recommended that it might be good for it to be unisex for people, you know, that way more people can have it. I told them this packaging might work better for like the gaming market. Like I told them they needed to do this, and then I told them it needed to be this way, and then I told them it had to be that. Like, okay, not a creative collaborator. I don't know if that's a fair way of explaining your involvement, even with your own words. You were strangling yourself with your own words here, Ray.
That was my involvement. I am not a chemist. I've never been to the lab in person. I've just seen the research and all that.
Is that meant to help your case? They put papers in front of me and I read them and I went, you know, I didn't fucking go to the lab. I'm not a chemist. Then how the fuck could you even interpret what was on the stuff that they gave to you? Why was it so convincing if you knew you couldn't trust yourself to interpret that information? This is a major optical failure. Is this person not like a very important streamer? Like, shouldn't she be better at this?
That's why I've been really excited for the past 2 years. I think I have a lot of viewers that have been around for a very long time that know that I was really excited for this because I saw a lot of comments of people saying it only takes 1 second on Google to research this. We didn't do 1 second of researching. We ran our own.
Yeah. Please don't say we did our own research. Please don't unironically say this, Ray.
Studies. We did our own research. We we did it, or not me. I didn't do it. They did it, but I saw it. I was really excited because this whole time I was under the impression that all of that research and everything that I saw was going to be on the website. And when Reflect dropped, it was critical and crucial for there to be information, and there was nothing but a WebMD link.
What is this point? What is... So I'm trying to think. So the reason why I'm struggling is because I'm trying to take like an empathic approach to this with one like process in my brain. Like, okay, if I were in Ray's shoes and I'm saying all this stuff, I know that I'm saying a lot of things that are bad optically, but I probably don't think they're bad optically. They're probably throwaway lines because I don't know how to talk. But there are things that I am saying that are important and are meaningful. And I'm trying to figure out what are the things that are important and meaningful. This is really important to Ray, I can feel. So the fact that the research is not on the website is something that she didn't like. She seems to think that the problem isn't the validity of the research, just the fact that it's not made public. Yes. When I switch into empathy smarts mode, I have a feeling that what Ray wants to do is to offload responsibility for the research failures on this project to other people, because she name drops these people that are involved. That's how she begins her story. Now we're seeing here that like they didn't put the research on the website. Why would she want them to put the research on the website? Because if it happens to be that there are issues with that research, she can point to, like, people have something to latch onto. The research was bad. I had no way of knowing the research was bad. I can't interpret that. I'm not a chemist. Oh my gosh, look, they totally lied on their research. That's awful. But you can't prove that they lied on the research if the research isn't, like, I don't know. Maybe I'm biased. That's definitely like a problem I have in my brain with this, but I think she's trying to evade responsibility for this stuff, and that may be a part of it. So I'm keeping that in mind here. Does the general public not understand that companies botch their own research all the time? Cigarettes, CO2, and sugar have been larger cases of the same thing. I don't think that she's thinking about that when she's working with the company. I think that she is very excited to be a large contributor to a product that she can put her name all over and whatever, and that these people are going to develop and listen to all of her feedback to produce it. When you are invited to political events or political conventions and things like this, you can ask a lot of questions to figure out who is involved, if it's going to be a shit show, how is it moderated, how is the live stream setup going to be done, what are the attendance numbers. There's lots of questions you can ask that will lead you to choose to not go to one of these events. But they sell you on the idea that you are important and that it will be big for you to do this thing and whatever, and they have their own incentives with the information they present you. You really have to go out of your way to look into things that will cause you to say no. And most people that I know behind the scenes are not looking for how they can say no to an opportunity. Ray seems to be in the same boat when it came to the skincare stuff. She's not looking for a reason to say no. She is looking for a reason to say yes. And companies, and particularly ones that want you to work with them, are going to be very apt at providing you the reasons to say yes, because they are coming to you because they want you to say yes. And that's what we saw with this research. That's what we saw with every step of this process. Ray wants this really bad, and this company will do everything possible to get her to say yes. And what Ray is not doing here is looking for a reason to say no. And that's the problem, in my mind. That's a problem with a lot of people agreeing to events and to do other stuff, is they're not looking for a reason to say no.
I was confused, obviously. And so I had meetings with them after that the past few days. I didn't want to speak or like stream because like I needed to see how the website was going to be updated. And that's when I learned that their studies can't be publicized. So that's the part where I was very naive about, because I didn't know that part.
There were a lot of things you didn't know. You didn't know that this is a common scam thing with the blue light. You didn't know to think twice about internal studies. You didn't think to check any of it. This is not the point where you were naive. You were naive at so many steps before this that to put it all in this single moment is an injustice to this entire thing that you've just described. You weren't naive because an internal study couldn't have been published. You were naive for never checking the claims that they made independently at any point during the 2 years that you worked with them. I was right. This is a key point for her. She's putting this all on the fact that these things can't be published. I don't know if that's the problem here, Ray, but let's keep listening.
Yeah, that's what happened. So they have a bunch of third-party like articles and stuff on there. I've seen a lot of articles like saying yes and no and stuff, but like I've also seen like their own personal research, but like I also didn't really want to. It's really hard to want to be involved in something where it's, you know, you can't show what they've done. So why can't they? They said it's because specific, like the specific research can be stolen by other companies.
There could be very legitimate reasons they can't publicize the research. That may be the case here. That would be in line with what they said. This entire problem doesn't hinge on whether or not they publicize their independent stuff. I think this all comes down to when we're talking about Ray and Ray's involvement, these problems come way before. She's not naive because they couldn't publicize that stuff. She's naive because she just did not care to look for why she shouldn't be involved the entire time.
The BLPF and the trademarked BLPF and the trademarked RE3, I saw the research on all of that. And the individual ingredients of it being researched of how it works with blue light.
But that's not the problem. The problem is not proving that the ship blocks blue light. The problem is that blue light as an issue is not true. Does she really miss this entire point? The point is not whether or not Reflect Cream blocks blue light. The point is that blue light itself is a BS phony problem. So it wouldn't matter if it blocked the blue light or to prove that it blocked the blue light. That's not what people are upset about. They're not upset that you peddled cream that doesn't block blue light. That would be a scandal in and of itself. But I trust you that it blocks blue light, because that I don't care. Like, remember how I tell you guys that concessions are important? This is a good example. If I was in an argument with Ray, I would concede. I will take you at your word that the product blocked blue light, and you read about that, and that is the truth, because it's not important to my argument that I'm making. Let's go ahead and assume that in good faith. The product blocks blue light. Is blue light a problem? What research did you do on blue light being a problem? What did you think about when you compared your outside research to the internal research of the company? What questions did you ask about those discrepancies, and how did that conversation go? That's what I'm interested in. I don't give a fuck if the cream blocked blue light or not. I'm willing to give that as a concession because I don't care about that.
This is not what I expected. This is not what I signed up for. I don't want to have to convince people like, oh, just trust me. I understand entirely the position I put myself in. I understand entirely. Not only did I'm not putting it in members only mode. I'm not putting it in members only mode. Like, people have to say what they need to say. Like, this is a big deal. This is a very big deal. And it's been, I'm honestly also, it's tragic how this happened, but I'm glad it happened to me. Like, even the people that are just like shitting on me, the friends that are using it for fun, you know, entertainment. I get it. It's entertaining. It's fun to see all this happen. I get it. I understand. I'm glad that it happened to me and not any of you. You know, I'm glad that it's, I don't know. It also kind of helps me in a way because, like, I know now, like, who my real friends are.
So we're setting aside the research stuff. She completely fucked on. There's no defense for what happened there. She certainly didn't provide any compelling ones. Now we're going to talk about friends. Who's your real friends? Let us know, Queen.
Sykkuno, Celine, Carl, Corpse, Emma, the people that actually messaged me and talked to me, like, about it. But there is one thing that did concern me. Not a single one of my friends or anyone that I know on the internet asked me, hey, Ray, what happened to the website? Why is there no information on the site? Not a single person.
Hello, no one is available to take your call. Please leave a message after the tone.
Yo, Ray. So I was, doing my due diligence as one would do, as I expected that you totally did before you presented the problem of blue light to this random company. And so I was checking for sources on their website. Yo, Ray, they don't got no sources on there, bro. They don't got no sources on there, Ray. What's up with that? That's really what you expect? That's really what you're going to put on people? That nobody told you the website did not have sources? Again, she just misses the problem by so much. Like, you got to realize the problem that people have with this is that the blue light issue is not an issue. It's bullshit. A Google search proves that. It's that your central conceit of the product, that it is protecting you from something harmful that is not harmful, is the problem. Like, they're not going to tell you that the research on that there's no research on the website because it's baloney. It wouldn't matter if there was. If there was research on the website and numbers were fudged and clearly incorrect, would you also put it on your friends for not telling you that the information on the website was incorrect? So I'm pretty sure this is what X was responding to when he said, I don't think you should put an expectation on other people to be in your DMs with the due diligence that you should have done in the product. Now I get where that comment is coming from, because this is a very silly thing to say. You know how this would have been worded differently, where I would have totally been on board, but it's still in the same vein? If she would have said, I can't believe nobody was in my DMs telling me this blue light shit was fake. I can't believe nobody came into my DMs with like a single source telling me that this blue light shit, Ray, is like a common hoax and a scam. Then I would have been like, yeah, for sure. That's reasonable. I could see why you would think that, because I would think that too. If I was duped by this and no friend at any point told me, hey, that blue light shit, you do know that that's like a common scam thing, right? Like, are you just doing this for the bag or what? That's what I would expect. But to say that nobody told you about the sources on the website is such a weirdly specific thing that, like, I don't really get what the point of this is. Maybe she means it like, I wish someone told me, but she said it in the worst way possible. That is a super good faith way of doing it. I won't shit on you for that because I do the same shit. But she was so intentional about the website thing and so intentional in this transition that I feel like I would be doing her an injustice to take that interpretation, because I don't think that that's what she's laying the groundwork for, but that is a much better interpretation of what she's trying to get at here. Yes.
A lot of people reached out and asked, like, are you okay? But no one asked what happened. Or it's just more so, I think it was like, I don't know. It was weird that people, and pretty much all of my friends, assumed that there was no research done. Like, I would never, I don't know. I care so much about, I've always cared about like my reputation and my authenticity. I've always been too open about things, and this was a wild experience.
She is so focused on the research done by this independent company, completely ignorant of the fact that that makes no difference in how people would have perceived this. Like, she's so deluded. That's so sad. She really, really seems convinced that that would have made a difference, and it really doesn't. And that's the sad part.
The research isn't fake. I know. But like, I'm also now in a position where I have to say, like, dope, just believe me. I don't expect you to believe me. I'm kind of surprised that the people that I'm working with expected people just to believe me. I thought that all this information was going to be on the website. So it's kind of the thing that I got. Yeah.
Now, I want to respond to one of you in the chat. Book, she has her hands tied, though. She can't shit talk the product. There are ways around this, okay? You don't have to talk about the product at all. What would be a redeeming stream for Ray would be to bring on dermatologists and other researchers to inform her about what blue light actually does and why it is or isn't a problem. Then she would be redeemed. Don't talk about the product. Don't talk about whether or not it blocks blue light. Don't talk about research related to the product. Just talk about this blue light problem with real people that are informed about it, and have them on stream and have a humble pie moment where you learn about this being a common scam thing or whatever. And that would have been fine. This was a very dumb way of handling this, in my opinion. But she wouldn't have had control over the dermatologist people, so I don't know.
Reflect is something that Ulta, I don't know if you guys know, but Ulta is a large retail skincare, beauty, makeup seller. They invested in Reflect, and it's going to be sold at Ulta in stores tomorrow. And it's really hard to be proud of that when it, like, I feel like the people that worked behind the scenes and the people, all of everything that's happened in the past 2 years, they don't get to experience what I'm experiencing. Like, I'm the face for it. Like, I am the creator for it, or the creative collaborator for it. And so, like, I'm the one that gets all of it. Isn't that crazy? So yeah, I feel like if I could go back, I would have been, I wish I could have been more aware of what was going to be shown.
And that's to wrap it all up. I wish I would have asked more or known more about what would be shown. So I have in front of me her points. Basically, her only point this entire time to respond to the drama was that the research was not published on the website, and she should have checked that beforehand. That is the extent of her fault that she believes. Jesus Christ. Rough. Well, you had 2 fucking years to ask more questions, Ray. Like, here's another thing. If you are as deeply involved as you are, you're essentially like the marketing part of the company. Valkyrae is trying to convince me that this person who had choices on everything from the texture of the cream to the packaging that it comes in to the tweets to the videos, that this person did not see what the website was going to look like at launch or the content that was going to be on the website. I struggle. It's so many points to like empathize with her on this. It just blows me away that how many givens were meant to give to this person.
I will read comments now. There's no way they didn't do studies. Yeah, they did their studies. That's why I was so excited, because I liked their studies that I saw. You don't deserve any of the hate. I mean, I understand where a lot of the hate was coming from, because there was nothing on the website.
I wish the tweet was still up so we could go and read the responses to it. She's so convinced that the only problem was that they didn't have studies on the website. What is this? Joanna Cole's status. Oh, this is a tweet thread. Let's take a look. My wish has been granted. 1 minute in direct sunlight equals 7 days straight, 30 centimeters from a screen in terms of blue light. Stop the madness. Oh no. I can't believe this is a real tweet. What the fuck? Read the room. Oh no, it's not a scam copium. She said, bravo, gamer girl, despite what's going on. Oh no, wait. Now that I'm reading it, it's bad. I didn't even read this. Proud to be your partner on Reflect, Valkyrae. Congratulations. Wish I didn't spend 8 hours a day with my screen. Having learned a lot about BLD, I now know to prep my skin and take regular breaks.
Oh no, I failed to make a successful cash grab. Okay, that's also another thing. I don't need money. And some people like, oh, she could have just done a regular skincare thing. She could have just done more merch. You're right. I can literally just straight up retire and have enough money to take care of myself and my family for the rest of my life. This wasn't about money. It was more so like I saw their research and I was really excited that they wanted me to be involved in something that's felt revolutionary.
No, don't start with this, because that's not what you said at the beginning. They reached out to you and you were interested to do this product before they even proved to you that the blue light thing was tested and could be solved with their product. You were interested, but even before. Oh no, this is so bad. And this I don't need money thing is just like, then why did you do this? Why do a product? Why not fucking do something like, there's so many problems with this statement. I can't even like fathom a response.
I don't need the money. I don't. In fact, it doesn't nearly pay as much as merch does. That's for sure. I don't think you guys understand what a week of merch did. It's just, if I really needed more money, wouldn't I just sell more merch every week? Like, I'm not fucking flexing either. It's just a lot of people said that I'm doing it for money, which just it's not my character. I literally sit at home all day. What do I need to spend money on?
I would love one day to be a PR person for streamers. That would be lovely. I think that's my future. When I turn 30, I'll just quit streaming and I'll be a PR person for streamers. That's what I should do.
Did Pokey reach out to you? It was interesting seeing which friends reached out to me when. A lot of the friends reached out after I posted the voice memo on Twitter. And then also a lot of friends reached out when I said I was going to be talking about friends in social media. So yeah, I guess I don't know. Maybe some of them got afraid I would. You okay with Leslie? I love Leslie. Leslie cared. Sydney as well. Sydney cared. Sydney reached out publicly. It also the friends that like defended my character. I appreciate it so much.
Why couldn't my friends carry me through my own business decisions? You know what? I'm going to have a hot take. I don't believe that comment is fair at all. I do think that even if you fuck up in your business and stuff, your friends should be there for you. Your friends shouldn't be there to tell you were right the whole time and whatever. Your friends should be there because they know you're going to get a bunch of harassment as a public figure that fucked up online. That's what I think. So I think you guys are misinterpreting this, right? Like, if your friend gets fired from his job because he had very little sleep and he was hungover and he snapped and he yelled at his boss and they got fucking fired, you're not there to pat him on the back and tell him fuck his boss and whatever. You are there to just support him because now he's fucked because he doesn't have a job, right? Like, you're there to help with the emotional stress of the situation and not necessarily to blow smoke up their ass, right? Like if Supreme had a take tomorrow that he said that was like super anti-DGG and I think it was wrong, and he gets a bunch of hate for it and people are shit talking him on Twitter and on Reddit and they're making memes about him, you know, I would reach out to Supreme. I would be like, hey bro, I see what's going on. Are you okay? Do you want to play video games? Do you want to like talk? Do you know, like, if you need anything, just let me know, right? And it's not to say that I agree with him or I thought the take was right or I think everybody else is wrong or whatever. It's just to be there to support a friend in a time where they're probably not going to be feeling very good, right? So that's I think what people should do. Do not be an enabler. I don't think you're an enabler by supporting your friends after something bad happens to them. Like, you're not there to tell them that they're right and stuff. This is where I'm trying to separate it for you guys.
Are you still sticking with the company? And if so, is it because you stand by the product, do the research you've seen, or is it because you're stuck in a contract of some sorts? I am in a bound contract. I do believe in the product, but I do also wish to not be involved because the research can't be public. That's the hard part. And that's the honest truth. And that's the honest truth. What about Hasan? Hasan messaged me and said, if people yell at you, ask them why they didn't have this energy for people shilling G Fuel when it has lead in it. Bish, this is not even comparable.
I'm going to defend Hasan. That's what I'm doing here. Let me say this. When Hasan sends her this, Hasan's intention is to help her to combat the talking points that people have against her. She took it such a wrong way. She did. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do multiple things. Hasan's perspective. What does he think he's doing with this message? He thinks that he's giving her a counter argument, a talking point that she could use on stream when people bring it up and start conflict with her, right? So he is a guy that does similar stuff on his stream. When he has to defend something, he'll often like do whataboutisms, or he'll come up with some kind of argument to deflect off of the primary criticism. He was smart in that he didn't criticize her product. He said on his own stream, I don't believe in this shit, the blue light shit's BS, whatever, was not reflected in that message. He's just giving her a counterpoint to deflect the criticism that people are going to give her. That was his intention with that remark. She thought that, like, dude, my product isn't something that has like lead in it, it is poisoning people and whatever. Like, my product isn't like she is so lost that she completely took that the wrong way. Like, if she was upset with Hasan on a million other grounds, I would stick with her. But similarly to when she was upset at her friends for not telling her that there weren't sources on the website, this is just such a weird way to get upset at people. It's just so weird to me. She tweeted later that she misinterpreted him. Yeah, no shit. I'm happy she could admit that she's wrong. We all should do that. But like, holy fuck, what a bad misinterpretation of what he's saying.
I had a website of products that were claiming to do something with no links or information. It's completely different.
Yes, but you mistake what the purpose of that is. It is to deflect criticism. He's giving you an out for public criticism. He's giving you a fucking doll that you can throw into the masses of people that are at your doorstep wanting to rip you into pieces. He's like, here's a fucking doll, throw it, it'll distract him for fucking 5 or 10 minutes and then you can move on. And you're supposed to throw the doll that's wrapped in pig meat and straw, and the crazy fucking mob of people will tear at that like, yeah, fucking tear the bitch up, yeah, fucking make her bloody, yeah, get her, wait a minute, wait. Is that pig? That smells like pork. Hey, it's not her. Hey, she's still in there. Get her. That wasn't her. Go get her. Right? It's just meant to distract them from a little while. It's meant to fucking shake them up. That's all. To be fair, again, if Ray had taken Hasan's doll, she probably would have been criticized. Yes, it's not a helpful solution. I can understand Hasan's intent, but it's not that helpful. I would agree. So if she would have said that would be different, right? Same with the comment from before about like, they should have told me that my website didn't have sources. Like, if you would have said that they should have told you it was a scam, I would have understood that. But you're picking really weird stuff, really weird reasons to be upset about actions I think you're totally okay to be upset about, but you're explaining it to me in such a weird way that I can't empathize with you. I can't sympathize. I don't understand.
I didn't even reply. I didn't even know what to say. I was like, are you kidding me? This is not even comparable. I didn't even know what to say. Also, yeah, I did see Daft's, I'm going to make a new gamer product, come resistant keyboard. Yeah, it was funny. But I did reach out to her because I was the only reason. Listen, I get it, dude. I get the jokes. It's engagement. I get it. It's funny. It's a hot topic to shit on me right now. I get it. It's entertaining. I understand. But I did reach out to her because I was kind of concerned because I sent a link to like a lot of people that I thought were cool with me to receive a free gift package of the products. And Daft was one of the people I sent it to. And I asked her, I was like, how come you didn't say anything to me about this until it was released? Like, were you planning that joke for like 2 months?
Just because it takes you 2 years and you still don't realize you're being scammed does not mean other people need to run their fucking mental processes for months on end to come up with like simple jokes and stuff like that. You're really downplaying the cognitive ability of your friends here. It doesn't take her 2 months to come up with a cum keyboard joke. What are these things that she is saying? I'm so confused. Like, she thinks that chick spent 2 months mulling over the perfect response and then came up with this. I'm so confused. I'm the empathy guy. I'm really trying to see from her perspective. But when she says shit, dude, I cannot come up with like good interpretations for how to understand her. I really can't. She's mad that her friend didn't flag this might be a scam. No, she's not, because she's never said that. The entire time, she's never said that. I'm waiting for her to say that because I want her to say that so I can understand her and empathize with her. She never says that. The only time she's gotten specific, and I have to take her at her word that this is what she means, is when she said that she wished they would have told her there were no links on her website to prove the claims. Her public-facing thing is that she still believes that the blue light thing is real. So, like, you would have just picked a fight with her for no reason. At no point in this does she say that it's about the scam. The only time she's been specific about this, because we're keeping track, is when she talks about the link on the website. That's all. If she was more specific and she said, why didn't you tell me you think that this is a scam? Then yeah, implied, bro. You could say implied all day, motherfucker. She says something different. I get the implication thing. I need her to say it because she said something else that was pretty fucking stupid. And that's the only time that we've dipped below the surface of this lake and seen what's on the bottom, is when it's something completely fucking stupid. So pardon me, but my implications are going to come from the other statements that she's made. The only other time that she has said specifically what she wished that people would have pointed out to her was when she mentioned the sources on the website. She wished they would tell her that there weren't sources on the website. She's still publicly facing saying that she believes that the blue light thing is a real thing. You would have just gotten into an argument with her that she wouldn't have believed you about because she had internal studies and believed that the blue light thing was a problem. So that's why I can't buy into your interpretation of this, because it wouldn't have worked like that. She's still convinced that the blue light thing is a problem, or at least that's what she says. So like, I don't know what to tell you. I get that she wishes she would have told her what her grievances were about the product, including if she thought it was a scam. Okay? There's your concession. Let's go ahead and put that to the side for a second. Yes, I get that. I'm not a fucking idiot. I get that. Let's put that to the side, okay? So what I am saying is, if we're doing this line by line review of this stupid fucking video, the only time she has been specific in what she wished people would have told her was that thing from before about the links on the website. That's one thing. Part two, she believes that this shit is real. Why does she believe this? Because there was internal research she can't share with anybody from the company that proved that it was harmful and that her product stopped it. So if you were to tell her what you guys are saying that she's implying should be told to her, which is that the blue light thing harming you is a scam, what would happen? You would get into an argument with her about this, and she would fall back on the 6 months of research that her company did and paid for, and she would not believe you. I don't think this is what she is expecting people to point out, because she still does not, even in hindsight, believe that it was false. What does she believe that the problem was? What has she repeated 3 or 4 times in this single video? That the sources that prove that it's a problem, which she believes in still, even after all this, are not on the website. So what she is expecting you to tell her is that the claims that they are making are not supported with all of the information that is on the website. That's why I'm saying that. I get that the implication you can read is this other thing. I don't think that's likely the case because of her own words in this video. Common sense, any other person, for sure, I would believe in the other thing. Yes, she has given me every reason not to believe in that common sense interpretation because she tells us a different thing every single time. So at some point, I either think that she is lying when she says this thing 4 times, or I take her at her word, we continue with what she has repeated, and we just understand that she's lost. And that's where we're at.
It turns out that I had this copy pasta that I was sending to people that, like, it said, like, this is my 2-year project. It's a blue light skincare line. If you want it, you fill it out. But, like, she said that she didn't get that copy pasta. So
it didn't even matter, you dumb fucks. It didn't even matter. Let's go ahead and continue, though. Fuck you guys.
Even if the research is fake or over-exaggerated, blame the company making it being too convincing. Ray's not the type to knowingly scam people. Yeah, you're right. I'm not. I have no desire to scam people. I've always prided myself in having my heart and my head in the right place.
What is the point of saying things like this? I'm so confused. She picks like the easiest comments to respond to and then gives like the most like vanilla responses. Please look at this. It was her idea from the start.
I was approached by Claudia, who is the CEO of iDeviation. And she came to me and she was like, do you want to like create like some kind of product? You want to do like hair products or makeup? And I told her, I was like, I kind of have this crazy idea. I don't know if it's possible, but like, is there anything out there that blocks blue light from your skin?
So to the very good faith people at the start of the stream that said, hey, maybe that was in one of the samples that she was given, I told you it did not seem likely from the wording of the very first time that she explained this to us. And yet again, in no uncertain terms, that does not seem to be the case based on this story as well.
Is information not public because the product is being patented, and after it's patented, will the information be public? This is how it was explained to me after the launch dropped. So I go to them asking, first of all, there's no information on the website, and we're making a claim that doesn't have information on the website. Okay, they say, okay. We'll put information on the website. I see the website. It's only third-party information. I ask, wait, how come our studies aren't going on the website? Well, it's because we need to protect like the information. We don't want it to get stolen. And then they said, people have to try the products and They have to do peer reviews, and the more and more skincare products out there for blue light are out there, the more it'll be FDA or whatever gets to approve it or something. Which I should have known this. This is the part that, like, this is what I should have known 2 years ago. That's the part I should have known. But I like, looking back, it's wild to me that it didn't even pop into my head.
Oh my God, is it happening? I'm edging. Is she really going to come to a moment of introspection where she realizes the real part that she fucked up in?
I saw the research. I was like, holy shit, this is great. I love it. This is insane. This is revolutionary. This is awesome. I'm excited to be part of something in the future. But the beauty and skincare industry is so different. It is so different. And also, like, okay, for example, like, I'm sure you guys saw Joanna's comment on Twitter, and admittedly, yeah, it was, you know, it was on my my voice memo, and wait, I think I took a picture of it. Let me see if I can find it.
No, we're so close. We were so close. Where are we going? Stop. Put your phone away. No. Why? No. Don't do this to me. Come on, Ray.
It was just, it was very tone deaf, and it just kind of reminded me, like, I feel like these people that are in the beauty and skincare industry don't understand how the gaming industry works at all.
Where are we going? Oh no, she's gonna shit on somebody else again.
Joanna is like one of the partners. Like, she was like, it was on my voice memo where I was like saying, like, I need to like wait for the website to be fixed, but like she was just saying that, like, she was proud to be Reflect partner and stuff, but like it kind of ignored everything I said in my memo.
Oh, she's talking about that tweet we looked at, huh? From that Claudia lady where she's like, gamer girls or whatever. Oh man, you're so close to seeing what's wrong with everything.
They all kept telling me, like, this is the same thing that happened with sunscreen. This is the same thing that's happened with CBD, nicotine. It just takes years and years for like the back and the forth and stuff, eggs, whatever. But like, now I'm at the point where it's like, I don't even know if I want to be a part of that anymore. You know? Like, it's not, this isn't, I was like, oh, the way I thought about it in my head, I was like, oh, cool, we got the studies. At drop, we're going to post the studies, and so everyone will see. In my head, doesn't that sound like the best way to do things?
You see how focused she is on the release of the studies to the people in the back that are still shouting that I should have had a different interpretation earlier? She gives us no reason to have that interpretation.
I've been so mentally fried the past few days. It's been an experience. I think the thing that gets to me the most is seeing like who my real friends are. I think that was the thing that's been startling the most, is like the people that I play with all the time, the people that actually worried about my well-being. Because yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I've had some terrible thoughts, like actually like really terrible thoughts, because it is something I've always prided myself on, being just trying to be a good person. But what happened was such a fucked up thing, and I was part of it.
But why? Why is it so fucked up? Is it so fucked up because a bit of info didn't get posted on the website? Why is it fucked up, Ray? How is it fucked up if you know that you're right? How is it so fucked up if you're confident that the research is correct? Would it perhaps be so fucked up because you figured out that you were wrong about all this shit that you didn't Google or do any looking into? That you saw that there were other products out there that protected you from blue light and assumed that that must be a given? That you looked at information that was produced by the very company who came to you wanting you to sell products for them in the first place, and that validated some preconceived notion about the dangers of blue light which you presented to them initially, that you were already sold on? Could it be? No, you're not going to say that, are you? You're not going to say that at any point through the rest of this. What, like, Oh man.
This has been a learning experience, that's for sure. I don't know. And then a part of me is thinking like, maybe this is a good thing it happened, because then maybe other people can learn from this, from my mistake, or not really my ignorance. What's it called? What's the word? What did I do? I should have known that what was going to be publicized and what was not. I should have known more.
You're giving her intent. Didn't you criticize D-Man in the past for the same? No. Unlike you guys, I keep things fucking separate in my head. So, Reznav, I don't know if you were here earlier. I explained this earlier. I'll explain it again now. There is me following this conversation and going based on what she is telling us, right? Then there is, what is my crackpot theory personally? My crackpot theory personally is that she knows that she fucked up with the blue light shit. And she realized that when she got all this pushback, and she's upset that nobody at any point argued with her about it enough to where she would see that she was fucking up with that branding. That's my personal thing. My following it word by word, being empathetic and building a picture based on what she is telling us, taking it to be the truth, is what I'm trying to push forward on the stream, right? Anytime I bring up this other thing, I tell you it's the other thing, but these are two different things. If we look at what she says in the video and take that for granted, we come up with a different picture. It doesn't make a lot of sense. The parts of it that don't make sense are explained by my personal opinion about what's actually going on, but this isn't supported by what she's saying. So that goes in my back pocket. I only bring it out when I think it explains things that aren't explained here, but I give the caveat that this is my personal take. You guys have to learn that these are two different things, right? There's this line in the Witcher books that's used all the time. She's mistaking the stars reflected in a pond at night for those in the sky. What a poetic line. I love that so much from The Witcher, by the way.
Why are you just talking about your friends or so-called friends? It's like you're just calling them out so you don't have to get the hate. Oh no, I'm well aware of why people hate me and the confusion. I'm just sharing my experience of all of this since I had the first meeting with Reflect. I mean, I'm not mentioning anyone specific that didn't reach out. I'm talking about the ones that did reach out that I'm thankful for.
Yeah, you mentioned Daff, and you said that she should have told you about all this shit.
Once again, I was the creative collaborator. So what happened in the past 2 years is like the first 6 months was like studies, the research and stuff. And after I saw like it cool. And then my involvement was creating the packaging, going over samples. So they would send me like a package like every other week of like samples. And I told them, I was like, I don't want anything that had smell. I don't want anything that's not like natural. I want something that's like matte so that guys aren't afraid to use it.
I don't want. You're not just a creative collaborator. You are like leading product decisions. What is this? I can't. There's so much inconsistency in what she's saying, and she's like either high on her own farts or she's like bluffing this whole thing and hoping nobody sees it.
Yeah, Sykkuno, I love Sykkuno so much. He is one of my best friends.
I don't know anything about blue light, but it seems like you're having a hard time. I'm sorry, Ray. Ah, man, that really sucks. They showed you studies? Well, I would believe studies too if they told me. Honestly, with how many streamers advertise gambling to children, this feels like a nothing burger. Yes and no. In my opinion, I don't care that much about the cream. I really don't. I don't. That's why I haven't talked about it. What I care about is Ray's response. I think that's much more interesting to me. I don't care that Hasan bought a house. What I care about is how Hasan responds to that. I don't care that Hasan tweeted fucking support of this bogus product. What I care about is that his response was completely not in line with what he tweeted. That's what interests me personally. That's what I think the drama is about. That's where I think the tea is in how these people handle criticism. It's not necessarily the product or whatever. I don't really care. Yeah, gambling is probably a way bigger problem than this is. But this whataboutism also is like distracting from focusing on one conversation at one time, right? I got the texture of your cream right here, homie. Yikes, you're gross.